Hello and welcome to this week's weekly wind-up. And in a packed programme, we feature Movember. Yeah, that's right, Movember, and explore a deeper insight into alternative therapy. Plus the week's top examiner stories and, talking about the examiner, this year's Business Awards. I'm Dave Hodgson and it's great to be back with you again. On Weekly Wind-Up, we have Nadio Granata from leading recruitment consultant Stafflex and Salmon, who's a local medical herbalist. Thanks both of you for coming in onto the programme today. So Nadia, you're the prime mover in Movember. Tell us what it is, but first let's see if the people of Huddersfield know anything about it, shall we?
Movember is a charity event in aid of prostate cancer for men, where you grow some facial hair as much as you can in a month.
It's where people who are able to grow moustaches do for a charity of their choice, I guess. I read about it on Facebook, but I really can't remember what it means. Something about giving up something in November.
It's a month where people basically don't shave their moustache, like for all muffins for charity.
Movember is during November people grow moustaches if they can, like for charity, raise money for charity.
Well, top marks there to your publicity people, Nadio. 5 out of 5, which can't be bad, can it? So let's discover more about it now. It's a global thing, isn't it? Give us the background to it.
Well, my understanding is that Movember started in Australia. So far to date, they've raised £402 million for charity. The focus is on raising awareness about men's health, so prostate cancer, other forms of male cancer, male-related cancer is the focus. We are a recruitment agency in Huddersfield. We employ a lot of male staff, temps and perm, and we think it's a worthy cause, and it's fun. It's fun to support.
It's not your first year. How did Stafflex get involved in the first place?
We ran the Movember Awards last year, so it was an idea that we had to help raise awareness for the charity. So we hosted an event. We had a lot of judges, a lot of female judges there. We had about 9 or 10 different categories. So we've got the most illegal Movember of the year, sponsored by a legal practice. I don't know, lots of different categories. Teacher of the Year, Movember Teacher of the Year Award. And so we did it last year. It was a bit of a trial run. We had about 120, 150 people there. And we're going to do it again this year.
Sounds like a fun thing, but of course it has a serious message. What's the main thrust of what you're trying to achieve?
It's about men taking responsibility for their own health. So we're not very good at checking our health, and we're not very good at reporting or going to see the doctor when we have anything that is mildly suspicious. So I think that's the main message really. Be in charge of your own health.
You've got a major event on the 30th of this month. What's going to happen and where will it be held?
It'll be, it starts at 6 o'clock, it's £5 admission, and that money goes towards a donation towards a charity. We have around about 8 or 10 categories, so we'll have lots of judging going on, lots of fun, and then we have the big hairy shave off, and we get student barbers from the local college, Kirklees College, will come along, and for a small donation we'll shave off the facial hair, whatever. Some people actually go the whole hog and have their heads shaved and raised. Last year, Huddersfield University Rugby Club raised hundreds of pounds for charity by having their heads shaved. So,
how much are you hoping to achieve? What's the total you're looking for?
Well, it's always difficult to say that, but so far, believe it or not, we've raised over £2,000. We haven't even started.
Good start.
Yeah, that was a very generous, a very active member of the community, liked what we're doing, and decided that he would kickstart it with a shave off before it even started. And
wow.
He did that at the local pub, the Star at Lockwood, and he's already got over £2,000 donation.
So you're on your way before the starting gun goes.
Yeah.
That's really good to hear. So thanks to Nadio for the discussion on Movember. He'll be back later on in the programme talking about the business awards. But before we go into the break, we have a news story which was in the Huddersfield Examiner on the 10th of November. There's an awful lot of facial hair about, as you've just heard this month. But who would have expected Huddersfield woman Rhiann Wilding to be the leading way in how the campaign's going? Rhiann is a support worker and has decided to back this annual campaign to raise awareness about men's health by sporting a moustache. And to help raise funds, she'll be wearing different stick-on moustaches every day this month. Everything from a rather fetching ginger number called a charlatan to a handlebar, would you believe? She's wearing one from getting up in the morning to going to bed at night. No, don't laugh. This is serious stuff. Her bizarre stunt has raised more than a few eyebrows. Who wrote this? Crikey. When she's at work, out shopping or just socialising, she will wear it all the same. But she's delighted that the staff of the Turtle Bay restaurant in Huddersfield have already dubbed her Moustache Girl. Like many good ideas, it came about on a night out at the pub, she said. I'm delighted with the way it has been received. My original fundraising target was just £100, but now it's already up to 300, and I have a lot of friends and colleagues who've promised to help later in the month. And she went on to say, it's great to see that the reactions of people in the street or the shops are mostly favourable. What makes me smile most are the ones who pretend not to notice that I have this great big black slug under my nose. It's all good fun, and I'm delighted so many are helping me fight prostate cancer. Good on you, Rhiann. There should be more like you. Remember, the weekly wind-up can be contacted by email at info@kirkleeslocaltv.com or on Twitter at The Weekly Wind-Up and on Facebook. Coming up, The Natural Aid to Healing. Join us after the break.
However large or small your business, attracting new customers requires dedication and a lot of patience. Just like fishing, but you also need the right gear.
Rods, reels, lines, hooks,
sinkers, lures, tackle box, tackle bag, net, bait, gas, gloves, clothes, boot, pocket knife, roach.
Or you could simply advertise with KLTV. Online, grow your business and your clientele. KLTV, your vision made reality. Should have gone to KLTV.
By now, it's a well-known fact that Prince Charles, the next in line to the throne, is a firm believer in natural remedies and herbal aids to recovery. Do you know what that actually means? Well, my next guest does. She's an expert. Welcome to Weekly Wind-Up, Sue Salmon. So firstly, I suppose I should ask you, how much knowledge does the average person have on the street regarding herbal remedies? We're not going to ask you, we're going to ask them.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's definitely a better alternative to the chemicals that the pharmaceutical companies give to you. I don't think it's worth using. That's been tested less in most cases as well than the herbal alternative versions of medicine, so I definitely use it. Yeah.
Depends what it is, but say if it was for something simple like a cold, then yeah, I would. I something like green tea, something warm that just makes me feel better, yeah. But if there's anything more serious, then I wouldn't consider that medication, yeah.
Does a hot tonic count as a herbal remedy?
I would trust more scientific remedies before I consider herbal.
I would, yes. Yeah, I've done that in the past. So.
Well, Sue, like herbs, a bit of a mixed bunch there. Oh, sorry about that one, couldn't resist it. But anyway, being really serious about this, how big a part does medical herbalism play both in treating health problems or indeed in aiding recovery? Can it be helpful, for instance?
Yes, it can, Dave, in both of those situations. And I see a wide range of people. People come to me for help with both treating conditions and in recovery after events. It's a very, very broad approach, really. So my aim is to treat each person individually, each person for their unique needs, and to look at treating not just the symptoms that they present with, but the underlying causes. So I see people of all ages, from very small babies to the elderly, with a whole range of conditions. So acute conditions, so things that are short-lived, like people who aren't getting over a viral infection, or who've got stress in their lives at that moment in time and want help with those issues. Also people who've got chronic conditions, so perhaps osteoarthritis or irritable bowel syndrome or eczema. And the aim from my point of view is to treat each person as an individual, looking at those underlying causes and also helping with the symptoms as they are at that moment.
It sounds really really impressive, but still, could what you practice be termed as, quote, alternative?
I'm not terribly comfortable with that term, actually, because it suggests an either or approach, that you have to either come to see me or see your GP or doctor. And that's not really how I work. We're trained to work alongside modern medicine and to do that safely. And that's a big part of our training. And I just don't like that either or approach. I also don't particularly like complementary, because it suggests...
I avoided that word.
Yeah, I know. I thought that was very good. I prefer collaborative, actually.
Yeah. Good word.
My aim is my aim is always to get the best possible outcome for my patients, so that I can help with their general health and quality of life. And I do that in collaboration with other forms of treatment. Yeah.
How are you able to diagnose what's required for each different... It must need a fantastic amount of knowledge of herbs that probably we've never heard of.
Well, it's not just the herbs, that's true. We have to know, practitioners have to know their herbs in great depth, and to appreciate that each herb is a complex chemical entity with lots of different applications. But we also have a very extensive and in-depth training. It's a Bachelor of Science degree to become a medical herbalist. And we also have to do continuing professional development to remain members of our professional bodies. So there's a lot of training involved. A lot of training.
Talking about the herbs, just off the top of your head, and wishing not to embarrass you, roughly how many herbs could there possibly be involved? It must have been well into 4 figures, or even 5, is it?
Well, it is, and the list is endless. But what happens, certainly from my own point of view, of my colleagues, is you tend to have a collection of herbs that you're familiar with and that you know the properties of and you feel comfortable with using, and that you know the research behind. So in my dispensary there's probably about maybe 200 liquid extracts. Some of those you'd know, things like nettle and dandelion and clover, and some of them are more exotic perhaps. And I also have dried herbs and creams and powders and capsules, so it's a big range of tools that I use.
Do you work like a doctor? For instance, do you have a surgery?
Yes, I have an office space in Lockwood that I share with some colleagues, and I also I work within a clinic in Barnsley as well, and I do home visits too where needed.
I suppose this is a bit of a spiky one, but how do the medical profession regard you?
It's a mixed reception. I think that's the best way to say it. And I think some of that mixture, and perhaps some of the fears and concerns that doctors have, is because they don't understand our training and the length and depth of that. I did some talks to trainee GPs last year, and the feedback from that was that they were very reassured and surprised by our training, and reassured by the fact that we know when to refer back to a doctor. And that we're also very, very aware of the potential for interaction between drugs and herbs.
Right. Nadia, is there anything that you've ever thought of doing?
What, in terms of herbal?
Yeah.
I'm very respectful of it. We have various health conditions in the family, in the extended family, and my sister-in-law who passed away recently had MS for a long, long time. So she went through various trials of things, but yeah, I think more of it.
Lastly, is it a positive bonus or a hindrance that Prince Charles believes in it?
I think it's a positive bonus. I think whatever highlight can be placed on the fact that herbal medicine has so much to offer, particularly at a time when the modern health service is struggling under the chronic conditions that there are, I think it's a positive highlighter. I've got no problems with that at all.
I can't let you go without telling us how and where we can find you.
Okay, well, I have a website, which is a bit of a mouthful, www.suesalmonmedicalherbalist.com. I'm also on Facebook as Sue Salmon Medical Herbalist.
It will appear underneath us as we're speaking, by the way,
right.
so everybody can get hold of it. Just press the pause button, folks. Thanks ever so much to you, Sue, for that. Onwards and upwards, and more local news now. This is from the Huddersfield Examiner, again from the 10th of November. A Sea Cadet from Huddersfield has been given the highest of honours. Denbydale teen Oliver Ingham, who's 16 years old, has received the Outstanding Service Award for his selfless dedication to the Barnsley Royal Marine Cadet Branch. At a ceremony held in the Scarborough Barracks in Doncaster, Andrew Coombe, Lord Lieutenant for South Yorkshire, anointed him as Lord Lieutenant Cadet, an ambassador for the cadets in front of all local dignitaries and, more importantly, his family. He was one of only 12 out of 8,500 cadets aged between 10 and 18 in the region to be chosen for the award. A spokesman said he gives 100% and has been totally instrumental in helping fundraising and supporting the unit. Thoughtful and selfless, he gives up his free time to help provide training for younger cadets and has assisted on several junior cadet weekends. Talking later about his award, Oliver said, "I'm extremely honoured to have received this award and thank all the volunteers at Barnsley that have made my time in the cadets an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. I look forward to carrying out the role as Lord Lieutenant Cadet and hope to inspire younger cadets to achieve their true potential by continuing to set a good example." Now it's our final topic, and it's the Examiner Business Awards. And Nadio, it's back to you again. You're also involved in these awards, but for those not in the know, what are they and who's eligible for them?
Okay, it's an annual award. It's hosted by the Huddersfield Examiner, sponsored by Stafflex for the first time this year in association with Chadwick Lawrence. Chadwick Lawrence is local solicitors. They've been sponsoring it now for a number of years. It's the first time that Stafflex has sponsored it. It's actually its 10th year anniversary. Who's eligible? Any business in the Kirklees, I suppose, examiner readership area, from large to very, very small independents. And there's I think there's 12 categories: international, corporate social responsibility, SME of the year, etc., etc.
Good, but I don't think sponsorship will be just what Stafflex does. Do you actually get involved in it as well?
I'll be actually presenting the prize tonight to the business person of the year, which is the sort of, I don't know, the icing on the cake, if you like. So yeah, we do get involved, but we like to be there supporting the businesses in the community that serve us.
So there you have it. Thanks to both my guests for coming into the show today, and you can contact us at the Weekly Windup. Its email is info@kirkleeslocaltv.com, or on Twitter at the Weekly Windup, or on Facebook. That's it for this week. We'll be back next week, and I'll be talking about a killer that you can't even see. You tune in next week to it and we'll tell you something. Bye for now.
much.